Evening viewers, good evening. Hello, it's Wednesday the 9th of March 2022. Welcome along to our little chat show this evening. You all right? Thank you, Rachel. Yes, I'll tell you what happened there, Rachel. You may have noticed there was no music. So what happened tonight, and I don't usually eat before I do a little show here. I say a show. It's hardly just a little bit of a chat with a few friends, isn't it, really? I'd like it to be a show, but there you go. Yes, so I decided to have dinner before I started tonight. So I got up about 6:30, came in here, got everything ready, and I think it was just after 7 o'clock, wasn't it? I went downstairs while the computers were coming on, and I put in the pan, I put the kettle on. I like to do many things. Do you like doing loads of things at once? I love it. Oh yes, we must be super efficient, dear. Very efficient. Like Mo, the dentist that I go to. He's very efficient. I like to be efficient. So while the computers are coming on, which actually doesn't take very long at all because they've got those solid state drives in them now. You know, no moving parts. While that's coming on, I go downstairs and I've chopped up an onion and I've chopped up a pepper and I put the kettle on and I've put the onion and the pepper. A blooming big onion. I think there's a specific name for them. And it's not giant onion. I can't remember what it was called. Globe onion or so. Huge this onion was. It was like that. Anyway, I chopped that up. And a long pepper. Because down at the Aldi the other day, they didn't have any of them. You know, you usually get 3 different coloured peppers in a packet. And I usually get those. They didn't have any left. So I got a couple of long ones. And they are, you know, quite long they are. Red. So I chopped that up, got rid of the seeds. And put that in the frying pan. Put it on full blast. Then I poured the water into the pan, and I put my. It was boiling fairly quickly, so I put the pasta in there, and I came back upstairs. Computers were on, and I switched on, and we went on stream, and I started the music, and then I went downstairs and left it. I left it, you know, left it up here going. So the music must have stopped for some reason at some point. And I didn't notice, and I wouldn't have noticed because by then I was doing my dinner. I had, if you were listening to the radio show this morning, I had a bottle of Dolmino, you know, pasta sauce, tomatoey sauce. Now, I don't usually get that stuff, but for some reason I must have bought one at some point, and it was out of date. August last year, I think. So I said on the radio show this morning, does that stuff go off? I mean, it says, I don't know if it was best before or used by. I mean, just honestly, some of the writing is so small on this stuff, isn't it? Or they use the wrong colour. They use the wrong colour, and you're like, I can't differentiate between the tiny little black writing, you know, which is clearly written for a mouse. No, for an ant or a bee to read. You can't differentiate between that tiny black writing and the dark red of the domino top. Why don't they do it in white? I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? There's something else I buy that's a bit like that. And you can't, it's green and yellow. And it's yellow writing on like a green background, except it's very small writing. And you can't, even with glasses on, you're like, I can't see this properly. Anyway. So Fran Green was listening to the radio show this morning, and she said, no, it'd probably be all right, just open it and smell it, which is what I normally do with out-of-date food. I don't chuck it out. So I opened it and smelt it, and it was fine. So the pasta's getting done, the onions and the other stuff popped back up here, and the music was playing. Music was playing when I came back here. So I went back downstairs again and done my dinner, and as always, I've done too much. I've done too much, but you know I won't throw away food. So the onions and the peppers were done. Lovely, nice and soft. I emptied the pasta into a sieve, emptied the saucepan, put the saucepan back on the stove, put the domino... Oh, thank you very much, Stephen Petty. Stephen Petty sent me a little tip tonight. Thank you, Stephen. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Let me give you a little super chat jingle for that, Steve. Much appreciated, darling. There we are, my love. All right. Thank you, Stephen. You're very kind. Got a tip tonight. I'm happy. Look, happy as a sandbag. Thank you for my tip, Stephen. Much appreciated. He says, good evening, Chris. Hope you're safe and well. Yes, and fully fed. Fully fed as well. So the pasta's drained. I put the sauce into the pan. And then I put in the onions and the peppers, mixed it up a bit. Then I put the pasta in, mixed it up a bit. I added a load of garlic granules, you know, from a little bottle like that. And chili powder, some of that in there. Mixed it all up, cooked it for a little bit longer, only a few more minutes. And then I put it in this bowl and I thought, oh my God, there's two meals here. Of course, cheese on top. Of course, cheese on top, because it just takes the chili off a bit, doesn't it? And I went into the living room and I've been watching this film, which I'm still not at the end of yet, called Company of Heroes. Company of Heroes. It's 2013. It's funny when you say it's 2000. Oh, it's quite a new film. No, it's not. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 9 years old. You know, if you're of an age and you say, and something's older than, sort of around 2000, you think, oh, that's not long ago. Yes, it is. 22 years. 2022. People have been born, gone to school, gone to wherever else they're going, and got a job now in that time, my dears. 2013, anyway. So it's quite a good film. Vinnie Jones is in it, although he doesn't come in it till later on. And it's about this, it's called Company of Heroes. It's about this group of Americans. They start off as just Americans, and they've discovered that Germany are making an atomic bomb. Now, I'm not sure if an atomic bomb is the same as a nuclear bomb. Don't know if that's the same thing. I would imagine if they're not the same, they're very similar. So these people have got to go and stop it being made, right? And they show that like a first test is happening. They test the first one and it's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong with it. So they've got another one and they try and get it. And along the way, join them some English soldiers, Vinnie Jones being one of them. He's great. I like Vinnie Jones. I don't fancy him. I just like Vinnie. There's something about him that's very likeable. Don't you think, Vinnie Jones? Quite like him. And there's a Russian bloke as well. All right, and they're all working together. And it's a really good film. Really good film. I've got about 15 minutes left now. And I watched a bit yesterday, most of it yesterday, a little bit tonight with my dinner, which I've just had before I come and spoke to you. And I'll watch the last 15 minutes a little bit later on. So good film to watch there on Netflix, Company of Heroes. All righty. Oh, hang on, that shouldn't be up there. Yeah. If you'd like to, by the way, if you'd like to join in, there's a text number at the top left there, 07451 287 337. That's my texting number. Okay, that'll get a direct message to me. You don't have to go into chat boxes or anything like that. I will dip in and out of the chat box at some point as well, my darlings, all right? Or you can send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So has anyone seen that film? Company of Heroes, good one, war film. I like war films. Do you like war films? It was done. I mentioned it the other week, didn't I? I saw Dunkirk was excellent with Larry Styles, and there was another one more recent. And I like old ones as well, like Guns of Navarone, the Dam Busters, of course. Anything with planes, you know, war planes. I do quite like a war film. Funnily enough, I was talking to Father Danny at the church, not last Sunday, the Sunday before we started. Sometimes I pop in just to say hello. And he was talking about films. He said, what films do you like? I said, all sorts, really. Comedy. Quite like war films, Father. I'm not sure if I was too impressed by that. You know, and there's nothing better than watching a war film and the Nazis are just blown to smithereens. Well, they're horrible people, aren't they? Get rid of them. That's what I say. Get rid of them. So Company of Heroes. There was another one recently. It was a bit like Dunkirk. Can't remember. Does anyone remember what that one was called? The recent sort of war type film. It was only, might have been last year or the year before. It wasn't very old, but newer than Dunkirk. Anyway, so watch that one, okay? Company of Heroes. And while I'm watching that, of course, I'm having my dinner. And I'm looking at the clock, and it's like, I started my dinner at about 25 past 7. I thought, I've got plenty of time to eat this, right? No, not really. I mean, I literally finished it at like 8 minutes to 8. That's when I finished it. Yeah. And I didn't eat it. I didn't go mad eating it because you don't enjoy it like that. It was blooming delicious, I tell you. Now, normally, as I say, I don't buy pre-made sauces like Domino or anything like that. And the reason for that is my older nephew's wife, Stacey, told me how to make the most beautiful pasta sauce. And all you need, of course, as I'm sure most of you know, is a tin of chopped up tomatoes and some spices of some sort. Add what you want. I usually add oregano and thyme, maybe a little bit of basil, and that's all I'll add to it, and I'll put that on. And then with the chopped up onions and that, add it to that. But I have to say, this was it was absolutely delicious. A great big bowl like that it was. Bigger than the bowl that lovely Vera gave me for my birthday. In fact, I would say it was 3 times that size. And it was all mixed up. Oh, it was delicious. Delicious. So I couldn't have had that later at night because, of course, it's got chili in it. Very bad if you're going to bed. But as I look at the clock now, even 8 o'clock is a bit late for something like that, really. I'd normally have that in the afternoon. So 8 o'clock now, 9, 10, 11, 12, I'll probably go to bed about 1 o'clock. This morning, and by then hopefully it will have settled down. And as I'll try and sit here, up so that it pushes itself down. Of course, it is a little bit of a worry, Rachel, if you're watching. It's a little bit of a worry due to the IBS, sometimes, which can be a problem. I've never had that while I've been sitting here, have I? I've had to go to the wee before, but not number 2s. Never had to do that. So I had to tell you about my delicious dinner. I've eaten really well today, I tell you. Breakfast was bran flakes, blueberries, chopped up apple, a little bit of soya milk. Went swimming. I went to the chemist to pick up my little asthma thing and hand in another prescription for special toothpaste that I have because my gums are receding. Because I have a little bit of an issue with my blood, it makes my gums recede, unfortunately. But that has stopped, apparently. For the last 3 years, that hasn't changed. So that's good news. But I have special toothpaste with like loads of fluoride in it on prescription. So I've handed that in now. Then I walked up to the swimming pool. As I got in there, my mate's coming out this time up at the Virgin Gym and Health Centre. We're only in the swimming pool at the moment. But I think we've got a little gym session booked next week, which would be very nice. I mean, if I just go in there, I could just sit on one of those bikes and look at the other boys, really, couldn't I? I could just... I told sake, man. Reconnection 6... Did you get disconnected then for a moment? Why has that come up as disconnected? I hope we're not going to have a problem with that tonight. We had disconnection the other week, didn't we? Let me see. Still says it's connected here. Did you get disconnected then? I'll come to your messages in a moment, my loves. Yes, so he's got one of those like walk around sessions next week. I don't mind doing that thing. I'm not going on that bloody rowing machine. I hate those. I've tried that. I've tried a rowing machine. They're painful to use. Painful. So I might try a little bit of that. So I went up there. And he was coming out because he had a hospital visit today at the Chelsea Westminster where he goes. And I came back here and I had a lovely dinner. I had the oven on timer. I had a Linda McCartney pie thing, vegetarian pie. Delicious. Delicious with little roast potatoes and a whole stack of vegetable and some gravy on top and a cup of tea. So I've eaten really well today. And if you're wondering about the whole Lent thing at the moment, just in case you're wondering, anyone who's doing Lent, here we are a week later and I've stuck to it this time. I wasn't very good last year. I've managed to do the first week, no bread, no cakes, no crisps or anything like that. Sweets, chocolate, ice cream, none. So I'm doing really well with that this year. Only 5 more weeks to go. Oh, do you know what I meant to do? Weigh myself tonight. I did say I was going to weigh myself on a Wednesday, didn't I? But I haven't done it yet. And that's been my day so far. And here we are, ready for a chin wag, eh? Oh, I've also watched the recent episode, racist episode? No, the most recent episode of Holby City. Oh, my God. There's only 2 more of those left, and then it's finished. And it's obvious that it's going to finish now. It's clear that it's now going to finish. Really sad. It was a really sad episode, but I have a feeling there's a sadder one to come. And if you watch Holby City, you'll know exactly what I mean. There's a sadder one to come. Mr. Henrik, I know we don't usually do it talk about Holby on here. We usually do that on the radio show, don't we? But Mr. Hendrick loves this other bloke, right? Who's about, I don't know, probably about the same age as each other, in their late 50s, early 60s. But this other bloke also has a daughter who has just had a baby. And Mr. Hendrick has performed, as I'm always in awe of people who perform completely unselfless acts. And even though he liked this person, he pretended that he didn't like him really, so that he would go and look after his daughter. So selfless. Selfless, but my mother was like that. Totally, utterly selfless. I wish I could be like that. I'm not selfless. Maybe one or two of you are, and if you are, I am in awe of anyone who's selfless and puts other people before themselves all the time. You know, I'm just amazing people. Really are. And that was my day. Right, let's have a look at some of your messages tonight then. I'll do your text messages first, my darlings. Once again, hello to Rachel. Thank you for your information earlier, Rachel. Good evening to Diane Jeb. Evening, Diane. Hello to Shania. Evening, Shania. And Dad are watching tonight. Dad's not very well. Vectis from Vectis Radio, a resident refuse collector. Oh, is that the correct term, by the way? Or have you got one of them posh terms that they use now? I think you told me before. It's not bin man or refuse collector, is it? What's the correct term for a bin man now? Someone, oh, you can't say that. That's really offensive. Well, what does he do then? Well, he empties bins, but you can't say that. Oh, piss off. Wait till Piers Morgan's got a new show coming up. There's going to be another TV station, Talk TV. Talk TV, and he's got a brand new show. I can't wait. We have to stand up to this pathetic wokery going on everywhere. You know what I mean? They're rewriting Disney films. Bleeding idiots. There was never a problem. Someone has decided that there is a problem, and they're all jumping on the bandwagon, aren't they? So looking forward to that. Good evening to Ray Reynolds. Evening, Ray. Nice to see you last night at the karaoke in Walthamstow. I have it on. Someone's told me that we have the. I don't know if you know Carl. He's got like a karaoke group of people. You would have seen them if you watch our live karaoke streams on the YouTube channel Karaoke London. All right, that's another one of my little channels. I've only got a couple. Karaoke London, and we do a live YouTube live karaoke streams on Tuesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, round about 8 o'clock, 8:30, okay? Sometimes earlier than that. And you will have seen Ray on there. Anyway, Ray, I have it on good authority. Carl Edwards and Andrew and some others are coming down to Walthamstow for the first time next Tuesday, so it'll be a little bit busier. But yeah, Ray was there last night. Evening, Ray. There's Stephen Petty. Hello to you, Stephen. Hello to Stephen, Emily, Alison and William. Hello to you lot. All right. How are you doing? Are you coming down to Lincoln again soon? Yes. In April the 3rd, at the beginning of Ramadan. Although I won't be performing in that. I can't do Ramadan and Lent at the same time. Won't be anything to eat at all, will there? Blimey, won't be able to do a thing. I just have to stay in bed. Lent, when does Lent finish then? Yes, Ramadan starts before the end of Lent. I can't do them all, dear. You have to choose which one you want to do. So I'm coming down on Sunday the 3rd. And I'll be going to the little church in Boston on that morning, hopefully. When I say I'm coming down on Sunday the 3rd, yeah, I'll leave my place of work on Saturday, you see, and then drive up there. So I arrive very early Sunday morning. Hopefully I'll be able to get to St Mary's in Boston. Now, last time I went there was no organist. I don't know if she's gone. Last time I was there, they were advertised. They were asking for anyone else who wants to do it, because I think they were quite old at the time, and that's a few years ago now. So I don't know if they're still around or maybe they've moved on. But last time I was there was just one violin. That was it, which actually was all right. It was all right. It was all right. So yes, Sunday the 3rd, I'm coming up to Lincolnshire. Thank you, Stephen, and once again, thank you. Shall I give you your little jingle again? It's so unusual to get a super chat. Here you go, Stephen. All right, darling. Thank you, Stephen. And hello to your family there. All right, good evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to Maureen. Evening, Maureen. She was up at the karaoke as well yesterday, weren't you, Maureen? Had a good night, didn't we, my darling? And a little chat last night. Managed to have a bit of a chat last night, didn't we? Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. That's the one. Gary Ross is with us. Hello, Gary. The film I was talking about after Dunkirk, the other film I really liked was 1917, about the First World War. Amazing films. I do like war films. I don't think it's the fighting I like. I don't know what it is about war films. And of course, good for history lessons. I mean, what would you rather do? You know, sitting at a university, taking notes from some old codger on a stage, or watching a war film to learn? Exactly. Thank you, Gary. That's the one. 1917. Another excellent war film. Maybe there'll be a new one around soon, will there? They got any war films like that coming out soon? Anything like that? Hello to Fran Green. Evening, Fran. Hope you enjoyed your dinner. Freeze the rest so you have a quick tea when you're in a rush. Not too late, I ate a lot. And I've eaten too much. I've eaten far too much for dinner tonight. I tell you. Yeah, far too. It was huge, that dinner. Mind you, the one this afternoon wasn't small. I'm very, very naughty. I just love to have smack to pot spots. Fran says, have you watched Wrath of Man? Guy Ritchie and Jason Statham. Real good film. What's that about then? Let me write that down. What's it? Wrath of Man. We'll write that down. Wrath of Man. Thank you, darling. Wrath of Man, Francis. Film. Is that on Netflix or the other one? There are films on the BBC iPlayer as well, incidentally. A lot of people don't know that. They think they're just TV stuff. They do put films on the BBC iPlayer as well. Thank you, Shania. Apparently the correct term for bin man or refuse collector, not allowed anymore. No, the left is, I'm going to write about that. I'm going to write in The Guardian about that. One of the Guardian readers, you know. Oh, have you ever met a Guardian reader? Oh, God, they are the most boring people in the world. Awful people, and they all wear. Usually got little beards, right? And they've got glasses, but they're thick black rimmed. They are so obvious, and they're not amused by anything. They're not amused by anything at all. They do these like little lefty jokes, and you're like, what? And they're like, yeah, what? Similarly, they don't like the sort of like right wing jokes. And don't ever say anything about poor old Jezza. They get very, very upset. Apparently it's called cleansing operative, not bin man, not refuse collector, cleansing operative. Thank you very much. He's got trouble with his feet at the moment, like I was saying. Poor Vectis. He's got what's it called? A placid tenderitis, basically painful feet on the sides. I think it's on the sides anyway. Very, very painful. And sometimes it clears up quickly. Sometimes it can take ages. You know, I was listening back to my radio show earlier. I was walking up and down the swimming pool. Why not listen to something else? Well, I couldn't find anything better, really, to be honest. There was nothing better than my radio show worth listening to. I'm back on tomorrow, incidentally. There it is, look. Okay? We do have a little bit of a laugh on there. If you think it's me just talking all the time, think again. I do play music again on there. About 9 songs altogether, if I remember rightly. I play about 9 records on there, okay? If you ever want to join in. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I was listening to it, and I don't think I quite finished what I was saying about my feet. Because I had the same thing as Vectis, although the pain can come in different places. Mine was on the side. So if you walk like that, I had to try and walk kind of like that on the insides of my feet. Really painful. And for me, I'm afraid it lasted almost 2 years. And I went to the doctors a few times, and he was saying, oh, this will go on its own, but you've just got to wait for it to go. And it did. It did. One morning I woke up. I think it was just before Christmas, actually. It was a few years ago, maybe 2013, 2014. I'd been to Florida and everything, and it was I had the problem there all the time as well. It was awful. But one morning I woke up and I put my feet... It was worse when you woke up in the morning and you put your feet on the floor and try and stand up. Oh, God, the pain. The pain. And one morning I woke up and I thought, here we go again. And I and it was gone. Just like that. just as quickly as it came on, it disappeared. But 2 years down the road, it might not be the same for you. You might only have the problem for a week. It's difficult to work it out there. All right. Hello to John Parrish. Sherry just made me finish. Made me a fish finger sandwich. Nothing. What's wrong with that then? What's wrong with that? Are you moaning again? Well, don't eat anything then. There's people in the world who've got nothing to eat. Tell him, Sherry. It's him, darling. It's him. Let me help you out with this noise of a whip. That's what you need, Sherry. I'll tell you what, Sherry. Let me just have a quick look at something. If you give me your address, Sherry, I might actually buy you a whip to just knock that blooming husband of yours into place. Whip. One moment. Whip. Let me just type into Amazon. Only $8.99. Oh, I've got to be careful how I say this. Fuwok. Fuwok. A Fuwok leather riding crop and whip with leather keeper. Only £8.99. That's not much to pay for obedience, is it? Come on, Sherry. It's him, darling. And Sherry writes as well, hello, Chris. Great to hear your voice again. Sorry for not being active. She's been busy lately. Just resigned from my current work, by the way, and will start with my new job on the 21st of March. I'm a bit anxious, but hopefully everything will be fine. Hello to all your lovely viewers. Thank you, Sherry. What job are you doing? What are you going to then, my darling? Is it like I don't know what you call what the title of that is? Is it like paperwork, like office stuff, or sales? What's your new job, Sherry? Do let us know, darling. All right, my love. Thank you, Sherry. Let's pop into the chat box, see if there's anything interesting going on there. Gary Ross says it does sound sore, his feet. Oh, yeah, it is, Gary. I hope it doesn't happen to you. It doesn't happen to everyone, you know. We all get different things. Some people get bad feet. Some people get heart attacks. Some people get boils. Some people get cancer. You know, I hope you get a boil. Do you know what I mean? You just never know what's round the corner, do you, really? Never know what's round the corner in this awful world that's going on at the moment. Isn't it, eh? You just wonder what's going to happen next. I mean, how can all this war business happen so close to the blooming pandemic finishing? Well, it hasn't. That's incorrect. It's not finished. It's still around. But, I mean, it's not like it was a year ago, is it? You know? Can't believe it. Let me just scroll up. I'll scroll up to the top there. Billy B. Good evening to Billy B. There. Michael Lawrence. Evening to Michael. I gather it was your birthday yesterday, Michael. So happy birthday for yesterday, my darling. All right. Someone mentioned it while I was doing the radio show, and I did ask if you were there, but you didn't come back to me, so presumably you weren't. Had you have been there, we would have sung to you, darling. We would have sung to you. Happy birthday to Michael Lawrence. Hello to... what's this? Has anyone noticed the scissor icon on top of the chat box on YouTube? Oh, is there really? Let's have a little look. Is there a scissor icon? Let's see that. Scissor icon. I can't see I can't see a scissor icon there. What's that do? No, it's not that. I don't have a scissor icon there. Oh, hang on. Clip. Yeah, I can see it underneath the screen. Like, dislike, share, clip. Oh, that's new, isn't it? What does it do? I don't know what it does. No idea what that does. Very strange and mysterious. Well spotted, Gary. Gary's watching everything going around. That's what we need, Gary. Someone who's keeping an eye on everything. There's a scissor icon there. Someone try and do something with it. See what it does. All right. Hello to Lisa Barker. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Evening to you, my love. Hello to MP Dodsworth joining us this evening. Oh, there's Gar L. Gar L. Greetings, Gar. Gar L. We got Chloe Ramsey. Good evening, Chloe. You're talking about some of the films. The Dirty Dozen. John Parrish likes that one. And Jason Hughes likes Platoon. Jason Hughes, Black Hawk Down. Yeah, that rings a bell. There's some old ones coming up here. Guns of Navarone, of course. Warhorse. Yeah, that's a good film there. Any other war films that you like, boys and girls? Thank you. There's Michael Lawrence there. Excellent, Michael. Hello to Daniel Walsh. Good evening to Daniel. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you as well, Daniel. Welcome along to our little show. Where are you, incidentally, Daniel? Scrolling down. Is that everyone there? There we are. And we're at the bottom there. Good. Good. Excellent. The eagle has landed. Yes. The eagle. What's the one where he takes the elephants up a hill? Is it Hannibal Lecter? What's that called? Hannibal or something like that, isn't it? Hannibal Lecter, I think it's called. Good evening to George Bond joining us. There's Paul Brown. Hello, Paul. Oh, it's little Paul. Hello, darling. Half an hour late, but better late than never. Well, you say that, Paul, you know. Had it been a day, I would have gone by now, my love. We don't wait around for anyone. I've done that too many times before, and in actual fact, you know, rather than being them late, they just haven't turned up. Evening, Paul. And Fran, it's plantar fasciitis, apparently. That foot condition, very, very painful indeed. Extremely painful. So I hope you don't have that at all. And oh, my friend, it's Tom Edwards from Thames Television. Hello, Tom. Evening, Tom. He's been watching BBC One tonight, and he's got that announcer on BBC One that can't pronounce stuff. Makes him squirm, he says. Hello, Tom. I know the one you mean. Dreadful pronunciation. Dreadful. Not a clue on how to talk. Right. Do you remember your first bike, it says here? Do you remember your first ever bicycle? What was it? Do you remember? Perhaps you still cycle now. Do you cycle a lot? Now, do you cycle maybe just to get to A to B? That's why I cycle generally. Usually just to get from A to B. My longest journey I do is probably the one when I'm up at the Luxury Waterside Media Centre. Okay? And I cycle from my caravan to my sister's house and back again. And that's about an hour and 10 minutes each way. That's quite a long journey, but a very beautiful journey. It really is. I come up the caravan and I go up a bit of a steep hill. I kind of come out the caravan park, turn right, go over a little bridge, very small bridge there, go through Chapel Hill village, which is very small. It's just a pub and a few houses. Okay, then I go past like a council estate on the right, which is not like, it's not like a council estate in London. It's not like, say, like Hackney or something like that. It's quite small, and they're houses. There's no blocks or anything. Go past that, then to turn right and go up another hill, and then I go along the river, and it's fairly flat. It's fairly flat all the way there, and it's beautiful going along by that river. Unfortunately, because of my OCD with litter, I have to keep stopping and picking things up. You know, if I haven't done it for a while. It doesn't gather loads of litter, but if you haven't done it for a while, you know, and I'm desperate to go up and do it. I keep asking my sister and my nephew to do it for me, you know. I said to her, you know, obviously while I'm there, can someone take over my litter collecting? No, they're not interested. No, it ain't mine. Ain't mine. I ain't picking it up. Ain't mine. Nothing to do with me. So I do wonder if no one picked up litter, and I don't just mean volunteers, councils and people like that. If no one picked up litter, how would people be with that? Would they continue to do the usual crap they come out with? Oh, it's the council's job. They should be doing that. But it's not really, is it? It's not really. It's the scum of the earth that chuck this stuff out of windows and things like that. I found a wee bottle last week. I kid you not. You know those cardboard things they give you in hospital? I found a wee bottle. Actually, I think I might still have the picture on my phone to show you. It's all right. It wasn't in use at the time. Let me see if I can find it. Oh dear. Because I'm a member of a couple of the groups. Oh, it might not be there now. I think I've got rid of it. Oh, that's a shame. I've got rid of that picture. Maybe I can find it on the Facebook wall I was on. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Oh yeah. It's a picking. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. Now, I've got to be honest. It's not as big as it looks in the picture. Okay, it's just that was closer to the camera. And look at the horrified look on my face. Some dirty bastard has chucked that out of a car window. Isn't it disgusting? I mean, admittedly, being cardboard, yes, it will disintegrate probably fairly quickly. But it's there then. You know, the stuff people chuck out. Anyway, I did ask my sister and nephew. Neither of them were interested in helping me in my hour of need. So while I'm sitting here, the rubbish is building up along that river. I can't bear it. You know. Oh, by the way, if my sister's watching tonight, thank you very much. She popped over to the caravan to check after the storms a couple of weeks ago. And the only thing down is like a fence between me and my nice neighbour there called Jerry. She's like, it's my same neighbour as my dad, Jerry. So Jerry is my neighbour. It's a lady. And the fence between us has gone down. Not sure if it's us or the campsite that owns that. So I guess we'll sort that out when we're there. It's not too much of a problem anyway. Yes, so your first bike. Do you remember your first bike at all? Eh? Mine was yellow. It was a yellow bike and we were living in Peckham until 1969. And it had hard wheels. I remember it having... You didn't have to put air in them. They were solid rubber wheels. Did you have a bike with solid rubber wheels? Bit uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, I don't think we went in any parks or anything like that. I just remember cycling around this sort of square that we lived in. We lived in flats. It was all right there. Droitwich House, Commercial Way we lived. And one day I lent my bike to someone. And I don't know if it was me or if they tried to nick it, but eventually I was in floods of tears. I remember my dad coming out and says, "What's wrong?" I said, "I've just lent my bike to someone and he hasn't come back." And my dad went out and found the bike and brought it back, you know, and told me not to lend it to anyone again. So that was my first bike. Didn't have gears or anything like that on. Hard rubber wheels. Do you remember your first bike and what was it? Maybe you had one of those choppers, you know, with a gear lever in the middle. They were very popular in the 1970s, weren't they? Choppers. And I've had a bike ever since then, really. And as I say, nowadays I tend to just use a bike to get from A to B. I've got two bikes. I've got one here that I paid for from a shop, and the one up in Lincolnshire, my nephew sorted it. It was only 30 quid, second-hand black bike. Works perfectly all right. In fact, I bought a new tyre for it. And when I buy tyres for bikes, I buy a slightly more expensive one. And it's got this rubber, like plastic thing all round, which helps with punctures. I mean, I don't think there's a puncture-proof bike yet. I'm sure they will come along soon. But this has got a thing to make it less susceptible to punctures than if you didn't have it in. Plus, of course, that liquid stuff that you squirt in, it all helps. And I bought a tyre for that bike. You may remember was it last year or the year before? Or might have even been the year before that, for all I know now. And I had to change this tyre, and honestly, the thing exploded. Oh dear, not a clue. Anyway, I put this tyre on, and actually the tyre was the same price as what we paid for the bike. It was nearly 30 quid for a tyre. I only paid 30 quid for the blooming bike. But there you go, so how it is. And then I had, when I was a teenager, there was me and my friend Peter Watts. And we always went out on I had a bike then. It was a racer, from what I remember. I think I had a racer. No, it wasn't. It was a small wheel bike, a pooch picnic. I always remember that, a pooch picnic, and it was small wheels, a little bit like those. You know the bikes that you see people carry on trains and places like that fold in half. It was just like one of those, except it didn't fold in half. And my mate Peter Watts, and my mum was friends with his mum. He had a proper racer bike. We used to go cycling almost several times a week, actually, over Wimbledon Common, Powell Park, Richmond, because we lived in Roehampton. And we went cycling down the A3 once. It wasn't a motorway, it was an A road, the A3, right? And we went cycling along this road. It was 70 mile an hour at that time. And I remember being on that road, being a bit scared. These cars were tearing past us. And we used to go to this sports place. So we come up at Roehampton Lane, then we go down the A3, and there was this place called the KLG on the left, which is no longer there. That's now Asda supermarket. And we go past the cemetery where my mum and dad are. Now, we go down to Robin Hood roundabout, and then we go sort of bare left onto the A3, and we go a little bit, not too far along there, and there was like a sports field. And there was a little like cabin type thing which we discovered, and we decided this was now our den. Right? This was now our den. And we went down there, and we used to. I remember I bought a little white bag for the back of this pooch picnic bike, right? Plastic. I was so pleased with this bike that I bought from Halfords. One day I'd gone down to Halfords, bought the white bag and bought it back, put it on the back, and that's fine. Anyway, so on this particular trip down to the little our new den, right? I loaded up the bag. We got sandwiches and crisps that our mums had made. Put that in my bag, and he had I think he had a bag or a rucksack. I can't remember now. And I also had a bottle of drink. Well, of course, you know what happened, don't you? By the time I got there, I opened my bag, and the drink had opened it and ruined my brand new bag. I was so disappointed. Even worse than that, it had got into the sandwiches. They're all soggy. Oh, nothing worse than soggy sandwiches, is there? Yes, there is. Soggy toilet paper. Even worse than soggy sandwiches. Awful. We sat there munching those. That was a pooch picnic. And then when I started working for British Telecom, I had a racer by then, with the drop handlebars. And I used to cycle to work from Roehampton to Wimbledon. It was about a 30 to 40 minute journey, I suppose. And my route was across Wimbledon Common. It was a lovely route. Lovely route. And I would go in all weathers. Raining, didn't bother me. I had wet stuff on. I'd put all the wet stuff on and off I'd go. I even cycled in snow. That's bloody hard work, cycling in snow. And I remember on one or two occasions going over Wimbledon Common and it being thick snow, and I must have had to walk through some parts of it. And I was never late for work, never. I've never been a person who gets late for work. But it was a lovely journey. At Roehampton, used to come out of my house, cross over a busy road, Roehampton Lane, which was nowhere near as busy then as it is now. Cross over there and into the Common, and it'd be this path I'd go along. I'd go past the Wimbledon, the windmill, past the windmill, down some little side kind of little paths that had been created by people walking, and come out of Wimbledon down this really steep hill. I then have to get off and carry my bike down some steps, not many steps, and then into the telephone exchange in Warple Road, which is now flats. That's gone. And it's funny, at the time, sometimes you kind of think, oh, I've got that journey to do today. But as I sit here now talking to you tonight, what a wonderful journey, and how lucky I was to be able to do that journey. Very lucky. As time progressed, I moved from Wimbledon to Kingston Telephone Exchange. I was Director Inquiry Operator in Wimbledon. Then I became a 100 operator at Kingston, which I didn't like. I just didn't like it there at all. But the journey there was in the opposite direction, and it took me through Richmond Park. I used to come in at Roehampton Gate, right? I'd cycle through the park on this little path. There's no one there. So if I had an early start, like 8 a.m, I'd be in that park at 7:15. No one around. And at that time of the morning, rabbits are still out. Little rabbits would be on the path running around. Again, the most beautiful route into work that you can imagine. And I used to cut through another bit. I didn't go on roads. It's like cycle path, come footpath, all around. There's one bit where you cross over the roads and you go in this sort of through, if you see what I mean, and it says, unauthorised cars not allowed. So you just have the rangers going up this particular road, and that went right through, and that was quite quite a little, kind of almost remote, but not really remote. You're only a couple of miles away from civilization there. It's not like you're going to Highlands of Scotland or something like that. But it was the most beautiful route. I'd get to Kingston, put my bike in the bike rack, and go to work. And then later on, I became an engineer when I bought my flat in Wandsworth. No, first of all, got married and we lived in Battersea. I don't think I used bike there. I didn't use my bike there. It was a bit dangerous, so I got a train to work there. But when I moved back home, I started, and I got my flat in Wandsworth. Then I became a telephone engineer on 151. And then I used to cycle to work there. But that was roads. That was cycling from Wandsworth along the Upper Richmond Road to... no, first of all, Wandsworth Exchange I worked at first. So that was a fairly quick journey, like 10 minutes on my bike. But it was a main road, Garrett Lane. Main road to the telephone exchange. And then I moved from there to Mortlake. That was a bit further, probably, actually, well, I say a bit further, probably 4 times the distance. And that route was along, coming out of my flat, Garrett Lane, Upper Richmond Road, and all the way Upper Richmond Road, through Wandsworth, through Putney, for a place called the Lennox Estate, and into Mortlake on the right-hand side. East Sheen, really. It was East Sheen, really. That's where the exchange was then. And again, all weathers, you know. Lovely having bikes. So I had quite a few bikes there. Do you remember your first bike? Or do you still cycle now? You know, nowadays I tend to cycle from A to B. For example, I cycle to church on Sunday. If I go down the shops, if I'm not walking, I'll generally take the bike. Whether I go to Bracknell or Crowthorne, which is about 20-25 minutes away, Crowthorne. They've got a little there that I like to go to sometimes. I don't cycle over the forest. That's hard going, that is, because you've got like really steep hills. And no, I prefer to walk over there. Swimming pool I walk to, unless I'm trying to save some time, in which case I will take the bike. But yeah, I tend to cycle from A to B. And as I said to you, the longest journey I do is to my sister's for my caravan, which is about an hour and a half each way. And although I said to you it's a road next to the river, but it's not busy road. Not busy at all. No. You know, if I cycle along that road, I might go past 10 cars, maximum. 10 cars, that's it. But they do come along there quite fast. You know, so you take a little bit worrying, that is, really. What about you? Let's just go to some of your texts there. Sherry says, I'll be working in an office as a sales and dispatch coordinator. Work starts 7 till 5:15 and no Fridays. Oh, that's a long day, isn't it? 7 to 5:15. That's a long day, Sherry. Then she does 8 till 5 another week. Okay, so that's still a long day, 8 till 5, isn't it? She says, need the money to look after John. He's a high-maintenance husband. Probably cheaper to just stick him in a home, to be honest, Sherry. Just put him in a home, love. Get rid of it, dear. If you find it's costing you too much at home, then just put him in one of those old people's homes, darling. He's at that age now where you can check. Probably anyone will do, you know. There's some don't waste your money putting them in a posh one. They're all the same. Cheapest one you can find, my love. You know, 1 meal a day. Thank you, Sherry. Good luck in your new job, darling. All right. Lisa B, it's her birthday on Sunday. Can you sing happy birthday for Lisa B? I think we can do that for you. But Lisa, you ready, darling? You ready? Here we go, Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lisa, my darling. Yes. Have a lovely, lovely time, Lisa. All right. John Parrish, my first bike was a brand new penny farthing. Oh, who was it who got knocked off a penny farthing? Was it that one on Radio 2? What's his name in the morning? Not the nice one, the one who's right mouthy bastard he is. Jeremy Vine. Another lefty. Oh, I can't bear him. Jeremy Bleedman, 88 to 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC. Jeremy Vine. Didn't he get knocked off a penny farthing? I mean, how stupid can you be to be riding a penny farthing on a road? I'm sorry, you must be off your head to do that. You go over on one of those, you soon know about it, don't you? It's not like falling off like a normal bike. Dear me, I think it was Jeremy Vine. John Parrish said he has a penny farthing, brand new penny farthing. Wow, how much was that in those days, John? Was it a very expensive thing, my darling? Lots of people wishing Lisa happy. Wish Lisa happy birthday in the chat box there, boys and girls. All right. That'd be nice. Scrolling up there. Bum, 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 bum. Hello to Eskull 1970. That's a good thing. Yes, I do. It's what's your name? Oh, I know you're a lady. If I'm right, you had a little bit of a medical condition a while ago. Can't remember your name for the life of me. Can't remember your life for the name. Oh God, what is it? No, you're gonna have to remind me of your name. Remind me of your name. Of course I remember you. We ain't seen you for ages. Where have you been hiding? Eh? Just a minute now. Let me do something. Where are we? Settings. Is that settings I want there? Hang on a minute. I'm just going to do something. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty. I can't get that edit out of my head since I said it the other day, darling. Rachel I played that for, wasn't it? Now, where's the damn thing gone now? Settings. There we are. Let's just type something in there. There we go. That's another one done. Thank you. Good. Where are we? That's it. Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. Elaine. Oh, of course we remember you, Elaine. It's been a few years, hasn't it? I haven't seen you on here for ages. Are you well? Elaine is in the house. Greetings, Elaine. In Israel. I still intend to come to Israel again. I want to do the whole Jesus thing and the Dead Sea and all that. And that Tel Aviv, dear. Tel Aviv. Oh. Now, did I go in that swimming pool? There's a swimming pool in Tel Aviv. It's quite near the American Embassy, if I remember rightly. Do you know the one I mean? Thank you, Elaine. Thanks for coming back to me there. Couldn't remember your name for me. But yes, of course we remember you. I'm glad you're well, darling. Glad you're well. Hello to Mick, built in Scotland. Good evening to you, sir. And there's my nephew. Project Man is in the house. Project Man is in the house. Gary Ross. Alex Belfield's best mate, Jeremy Vine. I'm not a fan. He's another one who's right up his own arse, isn't he? Jeremy Bloomin' Vine. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Just a reminder, gang, if you put a message in the chat box, I might not always see that because it's so busy, all right? So just send us a text if you want to get something straight through to me, all right, my loves? The text number only works on a British phone now, I must warn you. Drinks in Tel Aviv, of course, my dear. Of course. She said that twice now. She's desperate for a drink, Elaine, isn't she? All righty. Anyone else talking about bikes there at all? Don't see anyone talking about bikes there. Okay, let's move on then. The pool is the Gordon Pool. Okay, I don't remember the title, to be honest. I know it's fenced off, isn't it? It's fenced off. It's definitely fenced off, that. But looks a lovely pool. I can't remember if I went in that or not. I think I was going to go in it on the last day, but I'm not sure I actually used it in the end. Rachel had a rally bike. Did you have a rally bike? Lovely. Yes, I had a rally bike. I think my racer was a rally bike, if I remember rightly. Lisa Barker, I think the Eagle has landed. I think I mentioned that one, didn't I? As in old war films there. Okay. Right. We move on, my darlings. Let me just check my little emails as well. Because Vera sent in a couple of emails. We were talking about the whole electricity thing recently, weren't we? The whole electricity thing. And I've just had my latest electricity bill, which tells me at the moment I'm paying £80 a month, okay? And I got an email recommending that I put it up to £103 a month. Now, last time I looked, it was 126, but they've recalculated this, and they reckon now I need to do £103 a month. Strangely enough, it keeps saying here your gas is based on an estimated meter reading. Now, I don't know why that is, because they did this exactly the same thing the other time. Let me just see what their estimated reading is, because this month, okay, I get a bill every month This month, it says statement period. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, it's a month. 31st of January 22 to the 3rd of March. So that's February, isn't it? Yeah. So for 1 month, I've spent £90 and 30 pence, £44.60 on electricity, and £45.70 on gas. What's yours like? Or don't you know? That's a matter of interest. Okay. Now it says here, my gas was an estimated reading. It's got my electricity readings, right? Has it got my gas readings? No, you see, it's an estimate. I send the readings in whenever they ask. It says read type C. Oh, well, that's not an estimate, is it? Hang on. Let me see if that's what I sent them last time. Because I've got an app. I send all my stuff on an app. And you just let me show you. It's very clever. Yeah, so next direct, so I've just put my direct debit up now. Can you see this here? Yeah, look. To £103 at their recommendation. I don't want to go into debt. You know, on the other hand, you don't want to build up too much of a credit. So always watch that. Now, I'll be able to tell my meter readings. So I just send them up like that. And I just have to tick that, click that, and then you just type in the number on your meter. It's good, isn't it? I don't like these smart meters. I don't like the fact that a smart meter could allow them to turn off my electricity anytime remotely. No one would have to turn up. They just push a button at their electrical centre, whatever it is. So it says here, gas 6137. That was on the... I don't know. Oh, no, hang on. 8222, is it? Ah, 8222 6185. Yeah, that's... Well, it's not the 8th, is it? It's not 82. That's the one I've just blooming sent them. It should be 83, isn't it? Well, it says 6137. Closing read 6185. And it says here 6186, which I sent them a couple of days ago. So that's... no, it's correct. That's the normal reading, isn't it? So that's not... I'm sort of quite happy with that, really. You know. You know I have my electricity, my gas on very low. I just have a background heat at 13 degrees at the moment. Yeah. You know. Probably normal people have got them sort of 18 to 21 sort of heat. I'm concerned about these bills, so I kept mine quite low. I can't say that I've sat here and froze to death. I put a jumper on, sometimes a hat as well, and sit there and watch the telly with a blanket. It's quite cosy. You don't want it too hot. You ever go around people's houses and you can't breathe? It's so blooming hot, can you? Yeah, so £44.60 for electric and £45.70 for gas. The electricity will start coming down now because I've got solar panels and the sun is now moving upwards. Okay, so the next few months that will go down, hopefully. So I'm quite happy with that. And I'm £50 and 66 pence in credit. Happy days. What's yours? Do you know what you're paying for your gas and electricity yet, as a matter of interest? Elaine, will you be seeing Barry at the O2 in June? Sadly not. I've been seeing him in Cardiff. Front row seats. Thank you very much. I've got them on here, I think. I've got my seats on here. I saw them the other day. Let me have a look. Did I save it as a picture, or what did I do with those seats now? I've kept this. I print things off now rather than just keep them on here because I can never find stuff on the computer. You know what I mean? No, it's not on there now. Now, what have I done with those? Oh, I knew I'd lose those again. Yeah, I've got them in front of me here, Elaine. Barry Manilow in Cardiff on Monday the 20th of June. Seats Block 1, seats BLK 1, so Block 1, A10, Seat A10. Thank you very much. Nice at the front. Lovely. And there's no point in going if you can't see him properly, my love. Sadly, I think you probably know Elaine on the internet and that. A lot of Barry's fans seem to have fallen out of love with him for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. I don't really take much notice of, you know, like the super fans. Oh, we love you, Barry, and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just how they are. But some of them seem to have fallen out of love with him for whatever reason, you know. I mean, what do you want from the bloke? Do you know what I mean? He sings a song, you like it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, Elaine, I don't know if you might want to come and sit on my knee and watch it, do you? Is that an idea? Thank you very much, Elaine. No one talking about energy prices. Okay. Do you fancy anyone do boating at all? Anyone do boating at all? I tell you what made me look this up. I keep seeing an advert. You know when you watch YouTube things and you get like there's so many adverts on there, some which you can skip over and some you can't. But sometimes I see an advert on there for something perhaps that you wouldn't see on the television. And I thought, wow, look at those. These are yachts. Now, I'm not a particularly seafaring type person, okay? I've been on a cruise, which was great, really great. I'd like to go on a posh cruise, really. Highly recommend you take a seasickness tablet. But if you don't, and you get on board and you feel sick, just go down to sick bay and they just give you one. And I tell you, you have one of these sick bay tablets, okay? Within 20 minutes, it's gone. Very, very, and it doesn't come back. Isn't that amazing? All right. These are iguana yachts. And there's some photos coming up now for you. Check out these yachts. What's special about these? Apart from going in the water, they climb over the road as well. Check that out. It's a bit like those wheels on a tank. I'm not quite sure what they're called. You know, like a basically a band going around some wheels at the bottom there. Look carefully at the bottom and you'll see those. And when you come out of the water, those things at the bottom, those wheel type things, they pick up the sand or whatever you're going up and they carry you right up the front door. How fantastic is that, eh? You're looking at about £750,000, 500,000, £500,000 for something like this. But if you had the money, now is that a swimming pool on the top as well? There, look at that, and that's their house. You see, so they come out of the water and they go all the way up that thing there to their house, and then they just get out. They're made in France, invented and built in Normandy, designed to conquer all terrains and to overcome tides and shallow waters. It says powerful and robust mobility system. Tracks are fully integrated in the amphibious craft to create a perfect hull. High performance on land and sea, Iguana amphibious boats are the most powerful and seaworthy in the world, and they have loads of different ones. And I've got the price list in front of me here. Actually, you can get a cheaper one here. There's a classic one. €295, so let's just say £295. It's almost a blooming pound to a euro now anyway, isn't it? Then they got one for £335. 380,000. Sorry, did I say 335? No, £335,000, my dears. Huh? I don't think you'd have to do a lot of work in one of those. You remember the old days of perhaps a Needian line, and remember that? Da, 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 that one? Do you remember that? Eh? Oh, I don't think it's quite like that, where you have to hang off sails to get it to turn around and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's an Iguana Coupe, 520 grand, and they go up. What's the dearest one? There's a couple there which say price on request, which is, you know, you can imagine they're going to be a lot more. But if you've got a bit of money to spend there, I mean, beautiful. Beautiful, those yachts, aren't they? Do you fancy one of those? Are you a water person? Do you go sailing or anything like that? Or you're a bit lazy like me, you don't mind going on a cruise. As I've said so many times before, if you're ever going to go on a cruise, boys and girls, Here's my advice to you. Lose 5 stone in weight before you go, because the food just keeps coming. Breakfast, 11s, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and supper. Oh my God. And it was me and my mate. We went on a cheap Air Tours cruise. It was just cheap. Boat was a bit rusty in parts, I suppose, to be honest. But it was fine. Entertainment at night. I got a picture somewhere of us on this boat. And then one night the moon was out. Full moon. And was walking around this deck. We met up with these 2 girls. I think they thought they were going to get off with us. No chance, darling. So we spent some time with these 2 girls having a bit of a party. It was all right. And we had dinner on the captain's table, if I remember rightly. And on this night, the full moon was out and we were walking around the deck and this moon was just coming across the water. It was amazing. I'm sure 1 or 2 of you have come out with been on a boat or something like that, haven't you? Gary Ross says, can you get one of those iguana yachts on Mobility? Oh, I don't know. Why don't you just ask them, dear? I'm not sure you can have a yacht and a car as well there, to be honest. Very good, Gary. Tracks on a tank. They're fantastic. Tracks on a tank. Well, what are they? I don't know what they're called now. How rude. Do you see what he's saying, Elaine? Jason Hughes, Manilow can't have many more concerts left in him, can you? No, I think you could be right there, to be honest. Let's have a look. Maureen, thank you. Going back to the electric bill. Maureen has paid £345 for her 3 months gas and electric at EDF. I read my meters and she says, happy birthday to Lisa. Thank you, Maureen. Yeah, 345, so that's about 100 and... Yeah, that must be roughly what I'm going to be paying, Maureen. As I say, they've asked me to go up to £103 a month, which is what I've done. I'd rather be a little... I don't want to go too much in credit. I was with one organisation, Outfox the Market, I think it was, and it got to the point where it was in winter, and I was like 240 quid in credit. Honestly, and the trouble I had getting the money back, they kept saying, yeah, we'll put it back in your account then. And it just didn't happen. I kept having to beg them to do it. And then as soon as I got the money back, I quit from them. I was out of contract anyway. Thank you. Gary Ross, can you put your PayPal up? Oh, we're going to get a bit. Are we going to get a tip? There you go. Gary wants to send us a tip on PayPal. Thank you, Gary. Listen, if you ever want to send us a tip, if you've got PayPal, that's preferred. And the reason is, if you send me a super chat, right, YouTube take 30% of that. Okay, that's the deal. You know, you accept that. All right. But I'm just saying, if you ever want to send a tip, if you can do it on the PayPal, that's better, because that'll come straight to me, and it's very kind of you to do so as well. Thank you in advance, Gary. Actually, I've now put my phone up here. Usually, it flashes up if anything happens on PayPal, whether I pay something out or... Oh, my God, look at the dust on there. Oh, my God. I've got to get that dusted, don't I? Trouble is, I don't like to move stuff. You start moving cameras and things, the slight to the right, and you won't get the full effect. You'll start seeing all of this then, you see. That's the trouble. You know, you start seeing all that if I do it in the wrong place. Very unprofessional. Be like watching Naga Machete on breakfast time. Or I can't. Her and Charlie State in the morning. Thank you, Gary. There it is. Anyone who wants to do a little tip there. And staying with electricity, Vera has emailed into the show from the last time we were talking about this, which was last Wednesday. And Vera says, I've noticed the increase in electricity and gas. I've got a pay-as-you-go meter, and I put £20 on electricity and £20 on the meter for heating. I suppose that's her gas, on the 12th of February. And she sent this in on the 4th of March. Everything in this block of flats is electric. Oh, I don't get that then. So she said everything's electric, but she's put £20 on electric and £20 for heating. And she then says, everything in the block is electric. I've had to top up the electric with £10 and £5, and we're topping it up again soon. But the heating meter that runs the hot water is still going strong. I think someone is stealing my electricity. Is it you, Chris? Yes. If you have a look in your little box, Vera, you'll notice two little clips that are on your electric. That's me. Don't take them off because we're stopped streaming, darling. If you stop me stealing your electricity, I won't be able to do my show anymore. And just imagine the little disappointed faces that you'll have to deal with them, my love. Eh? Vera also sent in a little email about the pancakes. Of course, we had Pancake Tuesday. Not yesterday, the week before. We were talking about pancakes. Do you make them or buy them ready-made? The last couple of years, I've bought them ready-made. They're like £1 for 6 pancakes, and they're delicious. Nice bit of squeezy lemon over the top. You know, I really fancy pancakes now, even after that huge dinner I had earlier. Oh, it was lovely. Vera says, yes, I made pancakes, and as always, it came out wrong. My pancakes were farting when I pressed them down in a pan. Oh, that's a normal thing, isn't it? They do that. Little bubbles come up, don't they? And you press them down. My pancakes were farting when I pressed them down in a pan. I used one of those add water, shake and pour mixes. Yeah, Betty Crocker do those. I think the supermarkets do their own brand now, don't they? Next time I'll just buy them ready-made. Well, it's a lot easier, to be honest, Vera. If you buy them ready-made, it's a hell of a lot easier, darling. All right? And Vera says, thank you, Vera. They're separate meters for electricity and heating. I see. Okay, I get that now. So it's not electricity and gas. It's like just a heating meter, is it? Okay, that's something I don't know anything about, really. Good. That'll do, Vera. That song tomorrow is lovely. We got Vera's choice in the morning. Her request for song has already come in. It's already come in. War by Edwin Starr. You know that one. Good. We're talking about the electricity and gas. Now, as you know, at the moment, there's no point in switching. That's what the U-switch people were saying, wasn't it? No point in switching at the moment because everything's roughly on the government sort of, what's it called? The government cap thing, isn't it? I'm with Shell Energy at the moment. But one thing that's come round again, and it comes round so quickly, is my Virgin Broadband thing. 18 months is up again. Where's that gone? You know, so soon I'm going to have to start doing these deals again. First of all, what I do, and I'm out of contract on May the 4th. I write it down, you see? See, I write that down. Look at that, see? It's all written down there. Virgin Media contract up there, see, in May. So I write it down so I don't miss it, because you don't want to miss the date, right? After that date, or on that date, that is the day that you ring them. Don't bother ringing them before then, because you won't get anything. And you have to ring them and be prepared to leave. Now, you need to do a little bit of homework first. You start going around, seeing how much they charge you and how much they charge you. At the moment, Vodafone are doing a very good deal, £18 a month. Free installation. I'm not quite sure the speed of that, but it would certainly be enough speed to carry this programme going up, high definition picture and sound coming up to you. It would certainly be enough. And there's no one else living here, you know, so I haven't got to worry about anything else like that. Okay, at the moment I'm on the Virgin Media 200. I'm on the 200 at the moment, which I pay £31 a month, and I'm happy. Thank you very much, Gary. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you very much, Gary. He's just sent us where's the super chat? It's just sent us a little tip on PayPal. Thank you, Gary. As a matter of interest, Gary, right, from when you sent that to me saying that, because I said immediately, it flashed up on my phone. Okay, I said thank you to you. How quick was that? How quick was that? Just as a matter of interest. So anyway, so I'm on the Virgin Media thing, which I pay £31 a month, which, yes, of course, is more expensive than the 18. But the normal price for the 200 is £45 a month. So I am getting it a lot cheaper, right? So you go around, you do your own work, £18 for Vodafone, 3 do a 4G broadband. The only thing is, I don't think the 4G is particularly good here where I am. It's great at the caravan. Really good uploads and downloads there, about 45 coming down and about 25 going up there. But here it's not the same. I mean, it really isn't. It's in single figures here, okay? So that might not be an option. If it was, if I had a good 4G, it may be that all I'd need to do is put an aerial up, okay? And I've already got brackets on the wall at the back of my house for a decent aerial when I used to have a CB here. So that's already up there. All I need to do is put a pole, an aerial on the top and bring the cable in. Easy. Easy peasy Japanesey, isn't it? I could do that quite easily. I'd be able to do that myself. I know you find that difficult to believe, but yes, up a ladder, putting a pole up, no problem. With the brackets, that's all right. The brackets are already on the wall, see? Like those triangular things and the pole goes on there. That might solve the signal problem, but I wouldn't know. So I probably don't want to go down that 4G route like that at home. So I'll be looking around. Vodafone, £18. Sky and other people like that. I know plenty of people around here who've got Sky broadbands and don't have a problem with that. And then when you get your prices, you write them all down, you know, and then you make that phone call. Hello, and first of all, you'll speak to some bloke in India or one of them countries, right, who will then start reading off information to you that is of no use to you whatsoever. Hello, I'm thinking of leaving. Okay, can I ask you why, sir? Yeah, I've found this price here. Okay, well, just to let you know, you're on the 200 meg, and this month you have used 24 gig going up, and you could have downloaded. They start coming out with all this bull, absolute bull. And why are you telling me all this? This is of no interest to me whatsoever. And on and on and on. And you've got to wait for them to run out of breath. And then you say, no, I'm leaving. Is there anything else you can do for me? And then they will put you through to the people that want to keep you. And they will give you a good deal. But you have to tell them you're going. And you have to be prepared to go. Okay? You've got to be prepared to follow that through. And because of that, you need to have a backup plan. And your backup plan is you've already got this list of people that you can go with. Okay? So I've got to do that all over again. And I must say, I hate doing that. Why can't they just give me the cheapest deal? I'm on £31 a month. I'll be happy to pay another few quid. What I wouldn't be happy would to be £45 a month. No, not for just broadband. Not when I can get it from 18 quid elsewhere. So I've got to do that in May. Also, funnily enough, I did go in the 3 shop on Monday this week, or Sunday, but Sunday or Monday I went in the 3 shop, and I said, have you got 5G broadband where I am yet? Because I haven't got a 5G phone, right? And he looked it up on the map. He said, no. He said, where are you? I said, well, what it is, I've got Virgin Media at the moment. It's coming to the end. I'm thinking of 4G. He said, well, you might have 4G. Let me look at the map. He said, He said, you might be all right with 4G. I said, I'm not so sure, so I told him, right, about the caravan. And he said, well, how long you had that? I said, well, that's actually out of contract now, so it's rolling over. He said, oh, well, we can do you a deal on that. He said, what are you paying now? And I said, £21 a month for the 4G one up at the caravan, at the luxury Waterside Media Centre. Okay? And he said, well, I can, if you renew that here, he said, you'll have to do it before the end of the week because the deals are coming off soon. We can do that for you for £14 a month now and give you a new router. I said, well, I don't really need a new router. My one works perfectly well. He said, well, this is the router. I said, what would I need that for? He said, well, you could take it anyway because it's free. You know, we're not going to charge you any. Take it anyway. He said, you could try that at home to see if it works. Just take out your SIM from your phone, put it in that router and see how well it works. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Not only that, as well as my home broadband thing running out. Sorry, my caravan broadband has run out already, so I'm just rolling now each month, right? Before I go into another contract, that will save me £6 a month. I said, I hear people, you know, oh, is that all? £6 a month? Yes, that's all. So £6 a month, so that's £72 a year. Thank you very much. People don't think like that. All they see is the little number. Over the year, £72. That's nearly a tank of petrol. Not quite. But then I realised that my phone is also out of contract. Now, I don't buy a phone on contract. I buy a phone outright. Okay? This is an iPhone 8. It's ready for replacement. I've had this a while now. The battery's a bit of a pain in the arse because I have to charge it at least twice a day now. Okay? That's dying. It's an iPhone 8. There is a new iPhone coming out very soon. The iPhone SE, which I think I'd be able to pick up for less than 400 quid. All right? And that's got 5G on it. That's the thing that's going to make me buy it. The fact that it's got 5G. Right? I hold on to phones for a long time. And the thing is, I only do SIM only with 3. So I buy the phone and I'll have SIM only. So my SIM only in that, again, at the moment, is about £20 a month. Again, that should drop to 14. Okay? So what's that? That's £12 a month. Thank you very much. 12 times 12? £144 saved per year. Thank you very much. Let's have some of that, eh? Let's have some of that. So busy bee, all right? Lots of dealings to do at the moment. Vera says she's got free broadband, £22 a month. Are you on the 4G, Vera? So you've got a little box with no wires coming into it with a SIM in. Am I right? £22 a month. Are you out of contract with that, Vera? Because if you are, pop down to your local 3 shop and say, I'm out of contract here and I think I can get you that for 22 down to 14. But you need to do it soon. Okay? They'll probably give you another router as well. But if your one's working, don't bother trying. You just put it in a drawer or maybe sell it on eBay or something like that. Always be looking to all these companies to renew when they come to the end, right? Because there are deals to be done. Never ever accept any renewal things, especially like with car insurance. That's the worst one of the lot. Although I think there's a new law now which makes the car and insurance people give you the same deals as a existing customer. I think Martin Lewis was saying this the other day. You know, the money bloke on the telly. He was saying this the other day. You've got to go. I believe that they have to offer existing customers the same prices as new customers these days. I think that's just a new one just come in there. All right, popping into the chat box then. Behave yourselves when I pop into this chat box. I'm watching for evilness. Jason has got to renew one of our car insurances next month. They want an extra £110 up on last year. With a year's trouble-free off I go and compare. Absolutely, Jason. Never, ever take that renew. Do you know what upsets me with that? The fact that you are automatically enrolled into auto-renew. That annoys me. That shouldn't be allowed, that. And the old codswallop they come out with, it's to make sure that you're covered when it runs out. We don't want you to accidentally be uncovered. Bollocks, do you, darling? You just want the money. Thieves, dear. Greed in this world now. The greed. It's unbelievable, isn't it? How's your petrol price where you are, eh? How's that going? Anyone at £2 a litre yet? There are in some places. I'll come to that in a moment. Dan Woodhouse, have I said hello to you yet, Dan? I don't think I have. Dan Woodhouse says Vodafone's made from triangular texts, from triangular trees. Okay. Right, anyone else talking about that there? Talking about the side of there. Let's have a look. No one talking about that. There we are. Thank you very much. La da da. Da da da. And there's Joey Millen. Joey Millen does her little radio show, doesn't he? What station are you on, Joey? And when are you on? Feel free to advertise your show on here. That's okay, my darling. No problem at all. All right. Vera says, I'll have a look at that. Yes, it's 4G and my phone is with 3 as well. 5G is not in my area yet. Really? But you're in London. You're in London. I've had, my phone's 4G, but the next one I want is a 5G. And that's, I think that must be 4. How old is an iPhone 8? Anyone know? I think that's 4 years old now. But I wouldn't have bought that when the iPhone 8 came out. I would have bought that at iPhone 9 or 10, whatever it was, the one after that. I rarely buy the one that's out. However, the iPhone SE is a budget iPhone. It's a budget iPhone, so it will be a lot cheaper than the normal iPhones that come out in sort of September. Below 400 quid anyway. Below 400 quid there. Yes, yeah, check to see if you're... I mean, when did you take the contract out? I think the 3 contracts generally are for 2 years, I think. So if you're out of contract, you should be able to go down to the shop, say, look, this is the contract I've got now. I'm now out of contract. What can you give me? And I'm sure you'll be able to get that £22 down to 14. Make sure you know all the information. When I go in there tomorrow, I'll tell you about that next week. All right? Always be trying to save a little bit of cash here, there and everywhere, my darlings. Okay, let's have a look. Joey's got his own dance station, Life Dance, and he does Saturday between 10 and 12 o'clock. That's Joey Millen on the radio. Loads of us do internet radio now, isn't it? Petrol, Gary Ross says, I still get the red 78 pence a litre. Do you really? Do you still get red diesel? Is that still around, is it, that stuff? You can't use that, of course, in a normal car because it stains the inside of your engine, doesn't it? Once it's stained, car people will know this. Gary, if you use I mean, I can't use diesel anyway. I've got petrol, I've got hybrid, don't I? So I'm petrol. But if you use red diesel, say you only ever use it once, right? Over time, will that red go from your engine? Or if you only use it once, is that it? It's stained and that's the end of it? Just as a matter of interest. Gary says, I've just started putting white diesel in the van as they're dripping the vans and checking the vans and taxis lately? Is that right? Thank you. Hello to Andy. Evening, Andy, who's loving the show to watch you on my birthday. Is it your birthday today, Andy? While I'm ill in bed with a strained muscle in my leg. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Andy. Well, if it's your birthday, we'd better sing to you then, my darling. Here we are. To you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Andy, happy birthday to you. Hope your leg gets better soon, Andy. Yes, I was thinking about birthdays the other day because I don't really see birthdays on Facebook anymore. And you remember we used to do birthdays every morning, didn't we? We did that for a few years, didn't we? Do you remember that? And that itself is a few years ago, isn't it? When we were doing the morning show, we used to do birthdays every morning, everyone's birthday on Facebook, didn't we? I think half the people didn't notice it anyway. In fact, most of the people, because we stopped doing the birthdays, no one noticed. Not one single message. Oh, you forgot my birthday this year. Not one. Thousands of people. Not one single message. So you kind of, well, what was the point of that then? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you think, what's the point of that if no one's sort of taking any notice there? Andy says, I've made your day. Thank you very much, Andy. I'm glad we have made. I hope your leg gets better. There's nothing worse than being ill, is there? Maureen's there. She says, I've got to cancel my Sky Movies package in May with Virgin as I've been paying £10 for 18 months, but the real price is £21. Too expensive and not worth it. You may well find, Maureen, when you ring them to cancel it, they will offer you another deal. Okay? Don't know what that'll be. Like if you're really lucky and I don't know how many films you watch. I got a bit dizzy then. What made me dizzy then? What happened then? Is it the fact I've taken my glasses off? That was strange, wasn't it? Oh, that was strange. I got a bit dizzy then for a moment. Can I leave them on? Is it all right to leave them on? Do you mind if I just leave them on like this while I'm doing a show? I'm more comfortable with these on. Yes, you may well find when you ring them up to cancel in May, is it? So keep an eye on that date, Maureen. As I said to you, with all these deals, no point ringing them up before the date. What you have to do is let that date pass, okay? Let that date pass, or on that date maybe, or the day after. I'd do it the day after. That's when you get the deal. I want to leave. They will then try and get you to stay and tell you, it probably look at the computer and tell you how many films you've watched and what great entertainment. Don't take any notice of all that twaddle, my darling. Okay? And then see what he comes back with. And I don't know how many films you watch on there. I'm a Netflix person myself. I find that particularly good value, to be honest. and I've got Amazon Prime, but I've only got Amazon Prime because of the free parcels. I don't really watch much on Amazon Prime at all, although Picard at the moment is on. Star Trek Picard is back on there. All right. But do you watch many films on Sky Movies as a matter of interest? I had them all at one point. Sky Movies, BSB, when that was around in the 80s. I had 2 dishes at my flat in Wandsworth. I was the only house with a dish on it, and I had 2. Greedy. £21 a month is for films. I don't know really, I mean, if you was to go to the cinema, it's about, for me, I pay about £10 a ticket here. I usually go in the afternoon when there's nowhere. I've been in the cinema almost on my own before here. £10. But it's only, if you was to go to the cinema, it is only 2 films, isn't it? £21. It's probably more dearer where you are, but more expensive where you are, isn't it? Certainly Leicester Square and places like that, they're very expensive. It's hideously expensive on a Saturday night. Leicester Square tickets, hang on. Leicester Square cinema tickets, let's see. Odeon Leicester Square. Let's see how much it is for Saturday night there. I bet it's really dear. Book tickets, here we go. Book tickets, how do we do this? What was this? Odeon Deluxe. Oh, they got comfortable seats. Cinema, put your feet up, enjoy the film. Book tickets, here we go, book tickets. Book tickets, London Leicester Square, okay. Show films, let's see the films. Oh, is it? There are no films showing today. What? Now, you say that it's £21 on there, Maureen, for your Sky Movies, right? Oh, that's disappeared. Where's that gone? Just a minute. Where was that now? Here we go. Look at this. So you said £21 a month on your Sky Movies. Odeon are doing a deal. £12, so that's half the price, nearly. £12.99 a month. You can see all our films as often as you like. £12.99 a month. Wow. That's not bad, is it, if you like going to the cinema? £12.99 a month, it says here. See all our films, £12.99 a month, it says. That's not bad, is it? Well, that's just the same as going to watch one film, isn't it? You might as well sign up for that, mightn't you? Anyway, let's see if we can find something. Batman, that's going to be popular, isn't it? Batman. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Batman. Well, how do we start? Sorry, we're drawing a blank. Please change cinema for this film. I can't find how to do it. How the hell do we do this then? Is it closed or something? Oh, it's Saturday, March the 12th. Oh, here we go. Saturday, March the 12th. So let's try what we think will be the dearest time. 12:30 in the WA cinema. What's that then? I don't know what that is. Right. Choose your seat. So let's go there. Right in the middle at the... No, let's go in the middle at the front, shall we? Continue. Seat A17. Check out as a guest. How much? £27.50. £27.50 to go and see Batman in Leicester Square Odeon on Saturday night. Stop that, mate. No, but I just was saying you can see what's it, £12 a month? How does that work then? I must be doing something wrong there, mustn't I? Evening to Steve Murray. Good evening to Steve. Welcome to our show. Better late than never, old boy. Better late than never. Gary Ross says, don't take your first offer of Virgin or Sky. Let them ring you nearer the cut-out date, which is exactly what happened, Gary. That is exactly what happened. Actually, that's a very good point, actually. I think maybe you need to ring them. No, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I've made an error there. Blimey, is it 25 to 10? Cool, dear. That's gone quick, isn't it? I'll tell you what happened. I cancelled it. Actually, you're right, Gary. You're right. You've reminded me of exactly what happened. I cancelled the contract and I'd signed up with Virgin. Vodafone. This is 18 months ago, right? I'd signed up with Vodafone and all that business, right? Of course, you have a 14-day cooling off period, all right? Right? I then went to Virgin. They offered me a deal. I refused it. I told them, no, cut it off. Thank you very much, sir. Put the phone down. 2 days later, you're quite right, Gary, they rang me. And that is when I got the £31 instead of 45. And I said to him, I said to the bloke, I said, well, I've signed up now with Vodafone. He said, when did you sign up? So I told him, he said, Jenny, you've got you've got a 14-day cooling off period. You can go in and cancel it. What do you want to do? And the fact was, if you stay, and this is where people stay with the people. If you stay with the people you're on, there's no hassle, is there? No one's going to come round. No one's going to have to put a new wire in your house and all this, that and the other. So you are really better to stay with who you are. But if you can't get the deal, move, always. Car, electric, gas, broadband. If you can't get the deal that you want, move. I'm prepared to pay another couple of quid. I understand everything goes up a bit each year. But not from 31 to 45. I don't think so. Lots of people wishing Elaine a happy birthday. Excellent. Good. So that's that. So that's my deals to do. Here is something absolutely delicious from Iceland. Now, I will have to wait until after Easter for this. Have you seen the massive cream egg shaped dessert? Don't worry, Shania, my lips will not be going around this or any other banned lenten items, dear. Okay? Wait till you see this. Let me read it to you first. Iceland seem to be smashing it with their frozen options. The likes of Greg's sausage rolls. All right, Jason. Greg's sausage rolls and other classic baked goods on offer. But now the chain has defied them all with this massive cream egg-shaped dessert. With Easter round the corner, this could be the #1 must-have for all chocolate lovers. Are you ready to see this yet? Wait for this. I highly recommend you have a tissue next to you because you are going to start dribbling when you see this dessert from Iceland. If you're a fan of the ever-delicious cream egg, then this super-sized cream egg tasting dessert will have you as excited as we are. The show-stopping frozen dessert is described on the Iceland website as not only an actual cream egg-shaped dessert, it's also filled with white chocolate mousse and the classic cream egg fondant centre. If that wasn't enough, it is then encased in Cadbury's dairy milk chocolate shell. It's 400 grams. The Iceland dessert is £6 and £6. Wait till you see what you get for £6. It's suitable for any occasion, and we couldn't agree more. It says in the Yorkshire, the Yorkshireman.com website. We'll be having it for breakfast, dinner, and tea. It says here. Ready? Who wants one of these? God. I think I might have to get one of these and take it down to church, so that me and Father Danny can have it in the sacristies. Shania, what do you reckon? Look at that! Yes! We need that as soon as possible. That is the £6 from Iceland. Cream egg dessert. And it's now available. It's in there now. It says it'll be in there from the 4th of March, so it's there now. Rush in there quickly, my darlings, all right? Rush in there quickly and get one of those. Oh, it looks delicious, doesn't it, eh? Going back to some of these streaming services, Andy says, I'm with BritBox, usually £6 a month, £79 a year, but I got a deal in December last year to pay £30 for the year. So I took it lots of good old classic TV. You see, the thing is with that BritBox, I'm a bit funny with that. Because there's a lot of BBC stuff on there already, which we've already paid for in our licence fee. Why are you paying for it again? It's very unfair, I think, Andy. But BritBox is not for me. You know, I look for new stuff, really, new stuff. You can find a lot of old stuff on free channels and even YouTube. Although some of the old stuff, I think is people illegally uploading like BBC and ITV stuff to YouTube. I quite like watching border security things, you know, where they catch dodgy people at airports and things like that, bringing through drugs and illegal things. I quite like watching them getting caught and being carted off to the local prison. But the quality is not always very good on YouTube, so I kind of get that. Vera says that egg is far too sweet for me. Oh, come on, Vera. I think you should bring one down to the William Morris bar. Oh, incidentally, news, William Morris bar. That's why I do the karaoke on Tuesday nights, boys and girls. Here is a poster. Is this the one? Yes, it is. Look at that. There's a picture of Vera there. Can you see Vera? She's the one standing next to the orange bit where it says every week starts Tuesday. That's Vera. Would you like a closer look? Shall I zoom in on you, Vera? I can do that. Hang on. How do I do that? No, I won't. I don't. I can. Yes, I can. Hang on. Yes, I can. Yeah. Let's zoom in on Vera. Hang on. Let's move it. There's our little Vera. And she's always got that hat on. Do you know why she wears that hat? Right? Because it protects her ears from me. It's true. Vera's choice in the morning. Reach on there. That's where we are. Okay. And I have it on good authority that some other people are turning up this week. Carl and his little gang that often come to Central Station. There's quite a few of them, so hopefully they're going to turn up on Tuesday in the William Morris in Walthamstow. Come, and I think you should bring one of those. Oh, no, you can't this week because it's still Lent, Vera. I had to ask Vera last night. I don't. If Shania is still, are you still with us, darling? I did have to ask Vera last night. Frazzles. Are they considered crisps? And apparently they are. And Paul, he's one of the part owners of the William Morris bar, he's saying, no, they're not, no, they're not. And it reminded me of a part in the Bible where it says the devil tempted Jesus. In those 40 days and 40 nights, the devil tempted him. And that happened to me last night at the pub. I was being tempted by Paul, a devil disguised cleverly as Paul, who was tempting me to eat those frazzles and pretended that they weren't crisps. Thank God, praise the name of the Father, the Son and the Holy Ghost. Thank God that Vera was there to make sure that I did not fall susceptible to the temptation. Temptation. Yes, tempted by the devil. He didn't win last night and he's not going to win. All the way to Easter Sunday we're going with this lot. Thank you very much, Vera. Maureen says, I'm thinking of signing up with Netflix instead, as I have the app on here. I don't know how much they charge. Okay, Netflix. I think it's £10 a month, Maureen. Hang on. Might be an idea to get Chris round and help you with this. How much? Oh, £5.99 a month. There you go. £5.99 a month, it says here. That's for one person. There you go. I accept. 1 minute. 5 hacks. Netflix. Subscribers can access as much entertainment as they like. There's no adverts at all, Maureen. No adverts on Netflix. Between $5.99 and $13.99 a month. $5.99 I do you. Subscription option allows customers to watch Netflix on one device at a time in standard definition. So if you're not bothered about high definition, then you don't need the high definition one is $9.99 a month. But I'd go for the $5.99 a month, Maureen. And look how much cheaper that is. There's loads. You've heard me talk about all this stuff on Netflix. You don't need Sky. Seriously, you don't need Sky, my love. I think Virgin may well do an upgrade to Netflix as well, so maybe have a word with them. All right? Make sure Virgin allow you to watch Netflix. I don't know how that works at all. Shania, here we are, Shania. Shocking. There you are. See, I told you. Did you see Shania? Disguised as my friend he was, the devil was actually in the William Morris bar last night. But with Vera on my side, no chance. No chance. Didn't happen. Da 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 da. Temptation. 40 days and 40 nights. Da 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 da. I wonder what Father Danny would think of this show if he ever saw it, or Canon Simon. Don't you dare send him a link, Shania. Don't you dare. Vera says your faith was being tested and your faith is strong. Hang in there, Chris. See, I got you, I got Shania here. Even Vectis is a little bit of a help. Steve Murray, how did it go with your coffee date, Chris? That didn't happen, Steve. Didn't happen. I was a bit slow. And I knew I would be. I'm frightened to go out on a date. I am. I'm actually scared to go out on a date now. Don't know what to do. How stupid does that sound? It is, though. Frightened to go out on a date. Shania says, oh, that's an idea. I will find their email addresses. No, please don't. Whatever you do, do not... Actually, one of the organists at Corpus Christi sent me a little thing when I left there to go back to Bracknell. He sent me a little... thanks very much for your organ playing, Chris. He's like the... He's not the head organ player, but he's the one that does all the big things there. So he kind of is. Nice bloke. I've only met him once or twice. Can't remember his name now. He sent me, thanks for your organ playing, Chris. If you ever want to come back, just let us know. And we'd love to have you back. Sorry you're going. I came across your show and I thought, oh no. And I emailed him back and I said, oh, please don't tell anyone else about it. This show is not out in the world of Catholicism. I just imagine going in there Sunday. Chris, I came across your show. Actually, Father Danny would say, and then he'd just start laughing because he's like that. He's a great man, Father Danny. Really nice, really nice. On the same subject then, let's move on. Oh, hang on, let's just pop in the chat box again. See if there's anything of interest. Hey, hello, George Bond there again. That's all he comes in and... My live stream will be on tomorrow at 8. He only ever comes in now to tell us about his live streams, doesn't he? Hang on, let me do something. I'm terrible. I'm getting worse and worse. Hang on a minute, let me just do something. Right, okay. Just try and type that again for me, George, would you? Live stream. Type in your live stream message again for us, George, for a moment. Would you try and do that for me? Right. That's it. There we go. Where is it? Yeah. Talking on the subject of how much things are costing. What's the petrol where you are at the moment? We've got 155 up at the Shell. Sorry, the Sainsbury's here at the moment, 155. The dearest that I've seen so far was on Friday night, and it may well have gone up by now. On Friday night, I went past the BP garage on the M4, okay, and that was 179.9. And I'm just astounded by that price. I've never ever seen it that expensive. In actual fact, even the Sainsbury's up the road here, 155.9. I've never seen it that expensive up there either. The Daily Star is reporting fuel prices at a petrol station in Cornwall are now near the £2 a litre mark as fuel prices continue to rise, with drivers set to be hit by the biggest petrol hike in 18 years. British people are fuming over crazy prices. They're now nearly £2 a litre. Fuel prices at a petrol station in Cornwall hit the £1.99 mark on Wednesday morning, March the 9th. What's the dearest you've found so far? According to price comparison website Petrol Prices, the most expensive fuel in the country was at the Cummings in Bodmin on Priory Road, where diesel is reportedly an eye-watering £1.99.9 a litre. A local shared a photo of the Shell garage in Wimborne Road West in Wimborne, which showed how much fuel prices had continued to increase, with currently diesel 193.9, unleaded 175.9. This has got to affect the traffic on the road, isn't it? It's just every day it seems to go up another penny, doesn't it? Eh? It's got to affect... I mean, in a way... In a way, there is a lot of unnecessary driving going on. I am not an unnecessary driver. I don't need to verify that at all. I only bring the... And I've always been like that, to be honest. I only bring the car out if I've got a lot to carry or I've got to go a distance. For example, to work. Seriously, or it's pissing down with rain. There's no fun in being on a bike or walking if it's pissing down with rain. Certainly going to church. But the car comes out, it goes to London 1, 2, 3 times a week. I go to London 3 times a week. One of those journeys, the one in Walthamstow, is actually 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, is a 120 mile round trip. Okay? The one to Central Station is about an 80 mile round trip. But it's the only time my car comes out. If I've got a lot of shopping, what I'll tend to do is go on my bike and maybe do 2 shops. Because the bike, the Audi on the bike is 10 minutes away. 10 minutes there, fill up, 10 minutes back, and the next day I'll do the rest of it. I don't get the car out to go shopping, very, very rarely. Even Lidl in Crowthorne, that's about a 25-minute bike ride away. That's okay, it's fine, no problem. No problem. To church, the bike comes out. To my nephew's Gary, if I'm up at the caravan, that's a little bit... That's a bit of a trek, so the car comes out there. But I do wonder if it will stop people doing those little journeys. Would it stop people, the school run? I mean, it's just the most... I don't know how this ever happened, because we didn't have school runs in the 1970s, as John Parrish will tell you, and many of you on this channel. We never had people taking us to and from school all the blooming time. They walked. And it was a decent walk as well. 25 minutes each way from our flat in Ersham Close to Sacred Heart Primary School. And when it was really raining, we got the bus. No problem. Was no problem. But I'm not an unnecessary driver. And I wonder if these fuel price increases will actually stop the unnecessary driver a little bit more. Whether or not it will stop the people commuting, I don't know about that, whether it'll make any difference to the traffic. I kind of, there's no way, no other way. People say to me, oh, why don't you get a train to work? Well, it's been impossible. I've got stuff to carry. I've got 5 items to carry. There's no way I could carry those on the train, because if I could, I would. But even then, the train journey to work would probably be quicker than the car journey, if not round about the same, I would say. It would be a train from Bracknell. You see, I have to get to the station as well. So I'd have to cycle to Bracknell railway station, about 25 minutes on a bike, about 45 minutes to walk there. Right, I would then get a train from Bracknell to Waterloo, probably. And then tube from Waterloo to King's Cross. I could do it. The problem is I've got equipment to carry around. I can't, there's no way I can do that unless I leave it there. And then when I move venues, so for example, Saturday night, I take more stuff from the pub back Saturday night, ready to go to Walthamstow. Just not possible to do a train, but I would if I could. It wouldn't be too bad going there. Coming back's a different kettle of fish altogether, because that's only an hour and 20 minutes to get home coming back. And that's because I'm driving slow. I could easily do it in an hour if I wanted to. But I don't. I drive slow to conserve fuel. I've driven like that for quite a few years now. If I was to get the train, be a bit more. Getting a train, tube, again, King's Cross to Waterloo. Probably we'll be looking at maybe the last train from Waterloo to Bracknell. And if that's cancelled, I mean, what do you do? What do people do? I often wonder that. You know, when people get to that station, your train station for the last train, and it's cancelled or broken down, what do they do? Do you have to get a really expensive cab back to wherever you're going? Or do you stay at a hotel? What happens? Does that happen to any of you at all? Eh? That's why I'd never be happy relying on the last train of the night. I'm sure the train companies pull out all the stops. They may miss out trains during the day or night time, but that last train, I reckon they really pull out all the stops to make sure that one runs. Because once that's gone, that's it, mate. You can't get home, can you? Has that happened to any one of you before? Where perhaps you've missed the last train, then what? Don't tell me you sort of go to sleep on a bench on the platform waiting for the first one in the morning, especially in the winter. Aren't they the coldest places in the world? Train stations? Sod that, mate. John Paris says, please take me out on a date. Don't fight your feelings, you know you want to. No, I bleeding don't, mate. Oh, dear. I'll be beaten up by Sherry. Well, actually, I'm probably glad to get rid of you, my love. Don't forget, Sherry, my advice to you, my love. Andy says, I used to love to walk to school, all that fresh air. Remember the winters we used to have snow up to our kneecaps, but we still walked to school. No school closures in those days. No, there never was. School never closed. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, we'll have to close. Oh, the weather's too hot today. We're going to close. We got teachers' meeting. We never had any of this old crap. My God, if you never turned up on school, my secondary school in Fulham, London Oratory, that was serious, that was. You didn't turn up for school, mate. There was none of these teachers. Oh, it's a teachers' training day. What do they do? So you mean to say they stand in a classroom all year round, teaching, and then they take a day off for teachers' training? Train to do what? What do they do on teachers' training day? Just another day off, innit? Thank you, Andy. What else have we got there? I'm just trying to... thank you, Lisa. £1.63 for her petrol there. Gosh. It's a lot of money in it, eh? Andy, £1.59.2 in Dudley. So you're dearer than it is down here at the moment, Andy. There is, of course, you probably know about the Asda effect. If you've got an Asda are always the cheapest petrol. If you've got an Asda near you, then all the other petrol stations near the Asda tend to be lower because of Asda. Anyone else talking about petrol prices? Honestly, Gary, my nephew, he drives 600 yards to work. Well, you can stop that for a start then, Gary. You can start bloody well walking now. He does. He's about 600 yards to work, my nephew, Project Man. Mondays and Fridays. You can start that walking, mate. You don't have to leave 10 minutes earlier, that's all. You're the one with the money. Putting all that money in, dear, in your car. Oh, dear. Anyone else talking about the... You're talking about something else there, aren't you? Right, a second. Vera! You can never enjoy your evening when you're thinking about getting the last train home. So does that happen to you, does it? It would worry the life out of me if I had to get the last train home, I tell you. Not my thing there. Steve Murray paid... Oh, yeah, that's not... Yeah, I told you. See, I told you. He paid $1.43 in Asda yesterday for his fuel. There you go. $1.43. I don't know if you know, Steve, but I'm just doing the experiment again. I'm putting in the premium fuel, you know, the E5. I think we went out. Is it E? I get the numbers wrong. I'm sorry if I got this wrong. But the normal unleaded is now E10, 10% ethanol in it. And I've noticed I'm down easily 100 mile to a tank. I used to be able to get 700 mile a tank out of mine on the old petrol. 700 between 700 and 720 mile to a tank of petrol. Now it's more like 620. Seriously. It's a big drop. So I've started on the last fill. I went back to E5. Okay. So super unleaded, I suppose you'd call it, to see if that makes any difference. You know, it's an extra 25 pence a gallon, so about 6 or 7 pence a litre up at the Sainsbury's, up at the road there. So 25 pence a gallon. I don't know how many gallons my car holds. I'm guessing 8. I don't know. Well, hang on, let's have a look here. How many gallons RAV4? 55 litres. Well, what's that then? 14 gallons. Okay, so 14 and a half gallons. 14 and a half times 25 pence, is it? Yeah. £3.62. £3.62? That sound about right? 14 and a half. So, okay. So it's an extra £3.62 a tank, Stephen. I've worked it out to. Right? Now, if that means I get another 100 to 120 miles a tank for £3.62, then it's worth it, isn't it? Do you see what I'm saying here? Right? If by switching back to the old petrol and paying more for it, because I'm convinced that's all that this is about. By putting ethanol right there, the price never dropped, even though we're getting less miles per gallon. Not the 1%, what they said. 1 to 2%, they said. Rubbish. Load of old rubbish. 100 to 120 mile a tank I'm losing. And I used to get 700 miles, so work that out as a percentage. I don't know what that is. No idea what that is, right? So by paying the extra, it's going to cost me about 36 pence. Let's say 40 pence, or £4 rather, a tank. £4 a tank. Now, if I get 100 to 120 miles for that extra £4, then it's worth doing, isn't it? You know? You have to be careful and work these things out. I'm convinced it was another tax, that. Right? And they've still got me anyway. Because by switching back to the old, that's more expensive anyway. See? So they've still got you. But it's got to be worth it for the extra £4. 120 miles for £4 don't sound too bad to me at all. Like, especially if you're on a train, dear. You know how much they cost. Thank you. Shania says, quite often teacher training days are used to update on safeguarding training, work with other schools or different subjects or other courses that are required. Well, how comes they never had to do this before then, Shania? Nah, just being lazy. Just being lazy. They're all left-wing, you know, that lot. The teachers. Oh, God. They can't wait for another strike like the train drivers, isn't it? Eh? Gary says the Department of Environment stop cars over here. This is in Northern Ireland. Government department. They usually stop vans, trucks and taxi drivers. Do they really? Gosh. Is that looking for the red diesel, is it? Gary Ross. Chris used to bring a lump of coal for the fire in the classroom so he could sit at the front. Excuse me, I was not a teacher's pet, if you don't mind. Well, there we go. I think we've run out of time there, boys and girls. Let me just check my emails again. Check those emails there. Paul Adamson, thanks very much. He sent me a little trailer there. Thank you very much to the... there's going to be a new Star Trek called Strange New Worlds, isn't there? Strange and Mysterious New Worlds. There we are. All righty, going to disappear here, boys and girls. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today. We'll have another show for you next week. Now, don't forget, I'm on the radio tomorrow morning. I hope you'll be able to join us. Okay, from just after 9 o'clock, reachonair.com. We don't do the live streaming anymore on YouTube. Unfortunately, what happened there is I started to advertise it a little bit more. So you can now watch the show as well as listen on YouTube. And more people came along. Not enormous numbers. We're only talking about 14. But we were starting to have sort of 14 people watching the show on YouTube. And then we started getting into copyright problems. Okay? It seemed to be all right when it was just Maureen on her own. Remember, that channel was only really set up for Maureen. And then we opened it up to everyone else, and that's when we had problems. So we no longer stream on YouTube. So to listen, just listen on your little Amazon device. All you've got to do is say Amazon Play Radio Station, Reach on Air, and it'll start playing. The same with Siri. Say, hey Siri, play Radio Station, Reach on Air, and it plays you there. I'll be there at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right? Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks very much for joining us. And I'll see you again next Wednesday at the same time, 8 o'clock.
Good evening, madam. Just checking in.
Look at that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's Siri. She's just started playing YouTube, the radio station. How strange and mysterious. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Let's play some music and have a chat then. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Good night now.